What did you do to the house? My son's voice cracked as he stood frozen in the doorway, his wife right behind him, gripping his arm, staring past me like she didn't recognize the place anymore. I'm Virelda, 74, and that room behind them, it used to be mine. The same room they pushed me out of last night, told me to sleep in the garage so 6 of their guests could take my space. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. 6 strangers over me, in my own home. I didn't argue, I didn't raise my voice, I just smiled, and made 1 phone call after they went to bed. Now it's their wedding morning, the house is full, and suddenly 2 men in suits step inside, holding folders, asking for me. My son turns, confused. Mom, why are they here? I look him dead in the eye and say, perfect timing, and that's when everything starts to fall apart. Because the moment those men step further into the living room, the entire atmosphere shifts. Conversations die mid-sentence, glasses stop clinking. Even the music still playing faintly in the background feels out of place. Lysira straightens, forcing a tight smile. I think you have the wrong house, she says, already trying to guide them back toward the door, but one of the men doesn't move. He opens his folder calmly, scanning a page before lifting his eyes directly to me. No, he says, we're exactly where we need to be. That's when Chiron's expression changes. The confusion starts to crack into something sharper, uneasy. He looks from them to me. Mom, he says quietly, stepping closer. What is this? I don't answer right away. Instead, I glance past him, down the hallway, toward that bedroom, the one they cleared out overnight, the one they thought was theirs now. Then I look back at him, and for the first time since last night, I stop smiling. Why don't we all sit down, I say. The man beside me closes the folder with a soft final snap. Because this, he adds, won't take long. Sit down, I repeat, a little firmer this time. No one moves at first. 6 guests, their guests, stand awkwardly near the dining table, still holding drinks, eyes bouncing between me and the 2 men, like they've walked into the wrong scene entirely. Chiron lets out a short breath. Mom, we don't have time for this. The ceremony starts in a few hours. And I didn't have time to move into a garage, I reply, my voice even. That lands. Not loudly, but heavily. Lysira exhales sharply, stepping forward. We already discussed that. It's temporary. You're making this bigger than it is. Temporary. I glance at the hallway again. Is it? I ask. Chiron rubs the back of his neck, already stressed. Can we just get through today? We'll fix everything after the wedding. Fix. After. Later. Always later. One of the suited men clears his throat. Mr. Thorne, it would be better if we proceed now. Chiron turns, irritation flashing. Proceed with what? But I'm watching Lysira, because unlike Chiron, she isn't confused. She's tense, calculating. Her eyes flick briefly to the dining table, to the folders, then back to me, like she's trying to get ahead of something she doesn't fully understand yet. Virelda, she says, lowering her voice. I'm stepping closer so others can't hear as clearly. Whatever this is, it's not the time. We have people here, important people. I meet her gaze. I noticed they slept very comfortably in my bed. Her jaw tightens. That's when one of the guests, an older woman in a navy dress, leans toward another and whispers, not quite quietly enough. Wait, she slept in the garage. The word spreads fast. Garage, garage, garage. It moves through the room like a stain. Chiron hears it. His face flushes. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that, I say, still calm. A cot, near the tool bench. Very thoughtful placement. A few guests shift uncomfortably now, some avoiding eye contact with me entirely. The power in the room starts to tilt. Lysira notices it too, and she doesn't like it. "Okay, enough," she snaps, her tone finally cracking. "You're embarrassing us." I tilt my head slightly. Am I? The suited man steps forward, placing the folder down on the dining table with quiet precision. "Ma'am," he says to me, "we're ready when you are." Chiron looks at the folder like it just appeared out of nowhere. "Ready for what?" he asks again, slower this time. I walk past him, close enough to feel the tension in his shoulders, and stop at the head of the table. For a second, I rest my hand on the surface. The same table I bought, the same place he used to do homework as a child. Then I open the folder and turn it toward him. "You should read this," I say. He hesitates, doesn't touch it yet. "Mom, what is it?" I hold his gaze, and this time I don't soften it. "It's what happens," I say, quietly. When someone decides to move me out of my own life without asking. He finally reaches for the papers, and the moment his eyes hit the first page, everything changes. "Read it out loud," Lysira says quickly, her voice tight, too tight. Chiron doesn't respond. His eyes move across the page once, then again slower this time. His grip on the paper stiffens. "I don't understand," he mutters. This says the property is under contract?" One of the men nods. "Correct." A ripple of whispers spreads behind them. Chiron looks up, confusion turning sharp. "Under contract with who?" The second man steps forward, calm, practiced. "A private buyer. The agreement was finalized 3 days ago." 3 days. Lysira lets out a short, disbelieving laugh. "That's not possible. We live here." The man doesn't even look at her. "You occupy the property, you do not own it." That distinction lands hard. Chiron turns to me again, his voice lower now, almost cautious. "Mom, tell me this isn't real." I don't raise my voice. "I won't," I say. Silence. Heavy. Immediate. Behind them, one of the guests quietly sets her glass down on the table like she suddenly doesn't want to be holding anything breakable. Chiron flips to the next page, scanning faster now. "Vacant possession required." His voice trails off, then spikes. "Today?" "Yes," the man confirms, "as per the signed agreement." "Today?" Lysira repeats, louder now. No, that's not happening. We have a wedding here in a few hours." I watch her carefully, because now, finally, there's no composure left. "No one is asking you to cancel your event," the man replies evenly. But the property must be vacated within the agreed time frame." 2 hours, the other one adds, checking his watch. The room erupts. "What do you mean 2 hours? Is this legal? Should we leave?" Voices stack on top of each other, rising, chaotic. Chiron looks like he's trying to hold everything together with his bare hands. "Everyone, just give me a second," he snaps, then turns back to me. "Why would you do this now?" That question hangs there, not angry, not yet, just stunned. I take a slow breath. "When would have been better?" I ask. He blinks. "After the wedding. We could have talked like you talked to me," I cut in, not louder, but sharper. That stops him. For a second, no one else exists in the room. Just me and him. "You moved me out of my bedroom," I continue, each word measured. "You removed my things. You made plans for this house." His face tightens. We were going to tell you. When? I ask. He doesn't answer, because he can't. And that's when one of the guests speaks up again, hesitant but curious. Wait, you said the house was going to be yours after the wedding. All eyes shift to Lycera. She freezes, just for a second, but it's enough. Chiron turns to her slowly. What are they talking about? Lycera shakes her head quickly. This isn't the point right now. But it is. It's exactly the point. Because now the room is starting to connect pieces, and Chiron can feel it slipping. Lycera, he says, quieter now. What did you tell people? She doesn't answer him. Instead, she looks at me, sharp, accusing. You planned this, she says. I meet her gaze without hesitation. I prepared, I reply. The suited man closes the folder with a soft click. Regardless, he says, we'll need to begin the transition process immediately. Chiron looks between all of us, his breathing uneven now. The transition to what? He asks. I hold his gaze, and this time I don't let him look away. To a house, I say calmly. That doesn't belong to us anymore. And that's when the weight of it finally starts to sink in. Say that again. Chiron's voice is quieter now, but it carries more weight than when he was shouting. I don't repeat myself. I don't need to, because he's already looking back down at the papers, actually reading them this time. Line by line, slower, careful. His lips part slightly. The closing date. He murmurs. It's today. Yes. One of the men confirms. And the buyer? Chiron flips a page, scanning. I-1 requires full vacancy, no exceptions. No exceptions, the man repeats. Lycera steps in, her patience gone. This is insane. You can't just sell a house out from under people living in it. I glance at her, people who moved me out of it first. That hits harder now, because the room isn't on her side anymore. The whispers have changed tone, not confusion, judgment. Chiron runs a hand through his hair, pacing once, then stopping abruptly. 3 weeks, he says, turning back to me. This was listed 3 weeks ago. I nod once. His eyes search my face like he's trying to find the moment he missed. You knew, he says slowly. You knew what we were planning. I don't answer directly. Instead, I walk past him, toward the hallway. Every step is deliberate, measured. He follows without realizing it. Lycera too, though slower, more hesitant. So you just... Chiron continues behind me, voice tightening. What decided to punish us? I stop at the bedroom door, the same door they closed on me the night before. My hand rests on the handle. I decided, I say, without turning, not to wait until I had nowhere left to stand. Then I open it. The room is empty, not just cleared, erased. No bed, no dresser, no curtains. Even the faint outline where furniture once stood is gone, leaving pale shapes against the walls. Lycera steps in first and stops dead. What? She breathes. Chiron follows, slower. His eyes move across the space, trying to reconcile what he's seeing with what he expects. This doesn't make sense, he says. Your things, your clothes, everything was here yesterday. Not everything, I reply. They both turn to me. I started moving things weeks ago, I continue. Storage, donations, sales. Lycera shakes her head, backing up a step. No, you didn't. We would have noticed. I tilt my head slightly. You were busy planning a future here. That lands hard. Chiron looks around again, this time noticing the details, the clean closet rods, the empty corners, the absence of anything personal. This wasn't sudden, this was planned, carefully, quietly. You knew we were going to stay, he says. There it is. Not a question, a realization. I finally meet his eyes. I heard enough, I say. The silence that follows is suffocating. Behind us, one of the suited men calls out, "We'll begin walkthrough documentation in 5 minutes." 5 minutes. Chiron lets out a hollow laugh, shaking his head. "You timed it," he says, almost to himself. You actually timed all of this. I don't deny it, because now he's finally seeing the full shape of what he did and what I did in return. He looks at me again, something breaking behind his eyes. "What did you hear?" I hold his gaze, and for a moment I let the answer sit there, unspoken. "I heard enough," I repeat, and this time I don't leave it there. Chiron doesn't look away. He can't. So I give him the truth he's been circling around all morning. 3 weeks ago, I say, you were in the kitchen. You thought I was upstairs. Lysira was talking about after the wedding. Lysira stiffens immediately. I continue, steady, precise. She said the house had too much unused space, that once things settled, you'd transition me somewhere smaller. Gradually, quietly. Chiron's face drains of colour. "I never said that," Lysira cuts in quickly, but her voice lacks the confidence it had earlier. I don't even look at her. "You didn't need to say it twice," I reply, logical payoff. I waited, I continue. I expected a conversation, a question, anything. My eyes return to Chiron. "Instead, you moved me into the garage." That was the confirmation. Not a plan, an action. So I made mine. I contacted a private property service the next morning, I explain. Listed the house discreetly, chose a buyer who required immediate possession. I gesture faintly toward the front of the house. And I aligned the closing with today, because this was the only day you wouldn't be able to ignore me. Silence fills the room again. But it's different now. Complete. No confusion left. Emotional payoff. Chiron exhales slowly, like something inside him just gave way. "You thought I was just going to push you out?" I hold his gaze. "You already did." That's the part he can't argue with. Because it happened last night, in real time. His shoulders drop, the weight of it settling in fully now. Not just what I did, but why. Consequence. Payoff. From the hallway, voices call out. Guests asking what's happening. Some already gathering their things. The suited men begin moving through the house, documenting rooms, speaking quietly into phones. The wedding, whatever version of it was supposed to happen here, is dissolving. Lysira turns sharply to Chiron, her composure gone. "We need to fix this. Call someone. Stop this." "I can't," he says, barely above a whisper, "because it's done. Contracts signed. Funds transferred. Time expired." Within the next hour, and guests file out in clusters, confused, whispering, some avoiding eye contact altogether. The 6 who took my room leave the fastest. By midday, the house is no longer theirs to stand in, and for the first time since they arrived, they're the ones without a place to go. Their plans didn't just fail, they collapsed publicly and completely. Final resolution moment. By evening, I'm seated in the back of a quiet car, my suitcase beside me, not rushed, not displaced. Ready, the driver asks for the address once more. I give it calmly, a smaller home, already arranged, already mine. As we pull away, I glance once at the house in the distance. No anger, no regret, just clarity. Somewhere along the way, they decided I was easy to move, something to rearrange, something temporary. They were wrong. I didn't fight. I didn't argue. I didn't beg to stay. I simply made one call and made sure that if I was leaving, I wouldn't be the only one. The house disappears behind us as the car turns the corner, and this time I'm exactly where I chose to be.